Hello there everyone, welcome back to another video about the Gundam card game. We have finally got all of the starter decks fully revealed, so we can actually do some meaningful conversations about the starter deck. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to be reviewing ST01. Let's begin. So we start off with the cover legend rare. This is a level 4 3-cost unit, Gundam RX-782. Has repair 2, and during your turn, all your units gain AP +1. It has Earth Federation white-based traits, and it pairs with Armor Array. So obviously this is one of the better cards in the starter deck. That should be no surprise. This is pretty good. Repair 1 is like kind of mid. Repair 2 actually starts to become quite meaningful. We'll quickly grab Armor Array just so you can see the sort of context with this card. So Armor Array is going to give you +2/+1 on pair. Sorry, laptop's a little bit slow. He's got all the traits. And then when paired, choose one enemy unit with 5 or less HP and rest it. So the when paired is like kind of fine. It's really not that amazing. Like it's not bad. It's fine. Like you're going to be able to attack into something your opponent just played. So okay, it's fine. Like it's good enough. +2/+1 is absolutely fine on the stat front, but you'll see basically what you're getting here if you pair it directly onto this Gundam is you're getting a 5/5 that's going to go ahead and dome something. During pair, it's going to be killing everything in the game. Certainly everything in the game that is coming out, well, everything in the game that's coming out at this kind of cost level. So that's worth saying, right? You're going to go in, you're going to tap down basically anything your opponent's played, and you're just going to kill something. That's really, really good. You're then going to heal up too, which means you've probably taken 1 or 2 damage from that attack. And if your opponent doesn't immediately answer this card, then you're going to be back up to full at the end of your next turn. So this is a really, really solid card. I think this is going to be pretty staple in the blue strategies. From what I've seen, they kind of... I mean, so far based on the card reveals, they're basically only Earth Federation stuff anyway. Sorry, I've noticed my webcam is once again deciding to shit itself, so we're just going to go ahead and turn that off for now. So yeah, good card. All right, let's next go on to Gundam MA Form. So this is a level 5 3-cost. When paired to a white-based team pilot, you draw 1, and he also pairs with Armor Array. So at minimum, this is going to be something we want to think about just because it pairs with Ray. And one of the things I think we're going to really see in this game, and this is kind of speculation, but I'm very confident about the speculation, is that because of how powerful linking is, right? Beyond the stats you're just gaining, the fact that you are gaining haste, essentially, it's a really, really big deal. So you're kind of going to want to be linking as much as possible. And as a result, you want to be, if you're playing a particular pilot, you want that pilot to basically be able to go onto anything in your deck as far as possible. Now, obviously, that's not going to be completely possible 100% of the time. But what I do think is very, very feasible is a lot of the time you'll be able to actually get something valuable out of it. So I think this is going to at minimum be considered just because it's not bad. You're going to draw 1 immediately, links up with Armor Array, you get a 6/5, you guys are going dome something. It's not incredible, but we will be considering it just because of that link condition. Then we got Gun Cannon. So Gun Cannon's a pretty mid card. I mean, its stats are like fine, right? A 2-drop 2/4 that comes in level 3 is fine. It does have a link pairing, so again, we are going to think about this card, and it pairs with Kai Shiden. So let's go have a little look at Kai, just so you have context here, who's all the way at the bottom. So this is a reason why I think we're probably not going to consider Gun Cannon. I don't know that we're ever going to have space in a deck for a card that just says something heals 3. It's like these dual mode cards are inherently going to be more powerful due to the versatility. So they do obviously need to balance that. But this is like just way off the mark. I think like 3 HP, who cares, bro? Like, yeah, obviously in the starter deck format where everyone's like trading into everything, if anything survives, you just heal it up and suddenly they can't kill it, it's good. But in the actual game, I really don't think this is going to be very, very good. My feeling is because this card, you're not really going to want to play it. As a result, you're really not going to want to play Gun Cannon. You're not going to want to waste your time. So you're not going to play it. Next, we got another level 3 2-drop. This is a 2/3 with an on-deploy to choose an enemy unit with 2 or less HP and rest it. So you will be able to basically dome whatever your opponent's played on turn 1 or maybe turn 2, depending on what they've played. Probably turn 2. So let's have a look at Hayato, just so again we have the context here. And that's going to be another dual mode command card here. Thoroughly damaged. So here you're going to choose a rest enemy unit and deal a damage to it. And then you gain +1 defense with this. It's okay. Like, the problem is the unit has to be rested. Like, how often is this going to really allow you to clear something out? Sometimes, right? And obviously in the situations where you just, something survives on one and you play this and you ping one down and then bosh, you've just basically gotten to clear something for only one cost. That's obviously really solid. How often is that going to happen? My guess is not very. I would say this is probably not going to be good very often. And if this card's not good very often, then I don't think that you're going to want to be playing a link pairing for it with the gun tank. We got GM here. This is just a 1-drop 2/2. Depending on how aggro you want to be, and I suspect in blue decks you probably will want to be playing a good amount of aggression. This might see play. It doesn't link, but who cares, right? It's a 1-drop 2/2. It's got good stats. It's just putting bodies onto the board. Obviously, only issue is you can't play it turn 1. But I think this is solid. Okay. Next, we have our second legendary, and we're seeing the white cards come out now. So this is a level 5 4-cost Gundam Aerial Permit score 6. So when paired, choose an enemy unit that's level 5 or lower, and it gains -3 AP during the turn, and it pairs with Suletta Mercury. So Suletta Mercury, we will have a look just for posterity, but I don't think she's... Normally, this kind of ability is insane, but I guess we'll need to see. This probably is quite... Yeah, this is probably good. So she gives +1/+2, and on attack once per turn, choose one of your resources and set it as active. So obviously, like, getting more resources is very, very strong. The question is going to be how often are you going to be able to really make use of that extra resource? One of the things I see being a potential issue with this kind of thing is, like, if you're trying to, like if you're trying to play lots and lots of little units, then this probably ends up, like, being okay. But, like, if you're just trying to play, like, big units out a turn, how often is that one resource going to make a difference? I mean, because a lot of the cards in this game are costed so that their level is greater than their cost. So you play them when you hit that level and you've used your whole curve. I mean, maybe that one resource will come up, and it maybe, but yeah, otherwise this is, what, a 5/6 that you get to probably just kill something pretty easily when you swing into it. I think this is a decent ability. The fact this pairs with anything is, like, this is just a generic when paired is obviously solid, but yeah, I don't know how good this is going to be. It really, like, you know, it's like, okay, you give something -3 AP and then you have to attack into it a bunch. Like, how good's that going to be? It'll be dependent. I'm guessing not incredible, but we'll see. Okay, so now we've got another pair for Suletta Mercury. So obviously, like, I will say, like, obviously that legendary is clearly a lot better than a lot of the other cards. And if you're playing that, then you're going to want to be playing more cards that pair with Suletta Mercury. So again, this is a 2-drop 3/4 that's going to become a 4/6 when paired for only 3 cost. And this is really, really solid. And in this situation, right, I can see, like, this being a lot better because on your level 4 turn, you play this, you pilot Suletta, you swing, you untap, and then you play another 2-drop 3/4, right? Like, that's a really scary turn, right? So that sort of thing, like that tempo, could be really, really good. So it's in those sort of situations where untapping that resource becomes really, really valuable. In the situations where you're just playing, like, one big thing after another, it's less good. We got just a 1/1 blocker here. This is going to be good because it's just a cheap blocker. And similarly, we got a 2/2, but there's a 3/2 blocker. So again, these chump blockers, I think, are just going to be valuable. They're probably the best early game plays you can do, unless you're trying to go, like, super wide, just because your opponent, like, at any point, like, you can just your opponent kind of has to answer them through, like, alternative removal, or you're gonna get great value out of them, right? So I mean, these are just very, very solid cards, and obviously, like, one of the good things about the Gundam card game is damage is dealt simultaneously, so you are going to be able to actually get some meaningful value out of this 3 attack. So I think this is a very, very solid card. So we talked about all of these already, so we'll talk about Unforeseen Incident. So this is a command, level 3, it has a burst to activate the main, and action, choose an enemy unit, against -3 AP during this turn. So this could save you the game. I think really the big thing this is going to do is, like, oh, I get to say no to you destroying one of my bases. But, like, I'm really doubtful this is going to be that good. Maybe, I don't know, like, this thing, maybe. I'm just, like, one of the things I'm very conscious of is, like, there is not a huge amount of draw power in this game, right? So you're going to go down, and, like, necessarily, because pairing is one of the things that you're doing in the linking is one of the things you're doing in the game, is one of the best things you can do in the game, your hand is going to dwindle really quickly relative to other games. So I'm thinking, like, for a card to justify its space, it needs to really be doing something impactful. I'm like, is this doing something really impactful? Sometimes I just don't think it's going to be doing it all the time. Again, my opinion might change once we have the whole set out and we can kind of maybe evaluate it in that context, and maybe once the meta shakes out, this ends up being really solid. I'm doubtful though. I think, like, you know, I'm going to pay attention to it as a cheap card that you can use at action timing. That is worth thinking about and synergize with Selector Mercury, because now you have something to spend that resource on. But I'm a little iffy. Then we got our two bases. So we got white base. So this, they all have the same, if you add a shield, and they're all 5 HP. Then activate main, so you pay 2, and depending on the number of units you have, you either make a 3/3, a 2/2, or a 1/1. That's pretty good. I think, like, this is really solid just to... For 2 to just be able to make a card, I think that's going to be really, really valuable. Again, especially as I was sort of talking about card advantage issues you might have, less so in this color combo, right? You're going to have a draw 2, you're going to have a filter 2, like, these are cards that are like, you know, this deck is going to have waste a plus, but yeah, I think this sort of thing is always going to be really, really valuable. And then finally, on the base, and to finish out the starter deck, we have got Astacacia School of Technology Earth House. So this has a rest to give all friendly units +1 AP during this turn. It seems mid. I don't think that's really going to come up, but, you know, it's a nice to have. So that is all of the cards in the starter deck. Let's talk about my review of the starter. Overall, I would say this is like a 5 or 6 out of 10. I think there are absolutely some staple cards for various strategies in here. In particular, the cover card. I think, like, blue, I can't really see blue not playing that Gundam. I think that's going to be really key, and I think you're going to want to be building somewhat around Armor Array. I'm not convinced that anything else in here, like, Selector Mercury is good, but, like, I'm not convinced anything else in here is as essential. And, you know, you're going to have to pick up 2 copies of this if you want to play any of these decks. That's just the way it is. But I definitely think this is one of the weaker starter decks. There's definitely much stronger stuff you can be doing that we will see as we come on to the other starters. So I'm going to be doing 2 of these a week as we run up to the release of the starter decks. And then I think just before pre-release, or the starter deck pre-release, I will do a video that's like, oh, hey, here's what I recommend you play for pre-release. Here's some tips. So subscribe if you're interested in seeing those. Like this video if you enjoy the Gundam card game content. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Cheers.